That, my friends, is a super easy weekday quick fix that you're gonna love.
And most predominantly, very, very delicious.
Very, very true. So we start out very simply. We crank up our pot here, so we preheat it, and then we give it a good glug of olive oil. I don't know, 3-4 tablespoons. It's one of those things, don't be stingy, because actually this is a quite healthy soup with a high protein content and good macros. So this is something you can also do if you are into gym, whatever, something like that. We start out with 1 white onion diced, and I also have some red onion in here. Well, because I had it, so use what you have. I mean, it's basically this is what you have. Most of these things most people have in their pantry. So it's throw together, super delicious, excellent. But start with onion. And we just want this to sweat out a little bit, lower the temperature a little bit, because I don't want it to brown. I want them to sweat out and become a little bit soft and translucent. We don't want that browning because that's not a flavor we want in this soup. So let these sweat out a couple of minutes and then we'll carry on. And as they soften off ever so slightly and before they start getting brown, we move them out to the side here like this. So we get some space in the middle. And then we're going to go in with our spices. There is a tablespoon of ground cumin, a teaspoon of garlic powder. Use fresh if you want to, but this should be an easy fix. Smoked paprika, and then a teaspoon of chipotle powder, and that goes in, and we just toast the spices a little bit here in the middle. Always remember to toast your spices because it brings out so much more flavor than if you just...
Ooh, they smell real nice.
Yeah, already. It helps a lot to toast the, especially the cumin that goes really... and the smoked paprika, that goes in your throat.
Oh my.
Then, hey, healthy.
Yeah, that's a chipotle, my friend. That
a healthy tablespoon or 2 of tomato paste. And mix that in with the spices. And let it cook out a little bit. Yeah, you're right, it's the chipotle powder.
Yeah, use a mask, guys. it's very spicy, that thing.
Yeah, it is. And now be careful. Right as everything is mixed in, we go straight in with 800 milliliter of chicken stock, not broth, stock. And we use that now to deglaze the bottom of the pan, lift up all the things we had down there from the spices and the tomato paste. Always gives good flavor. This chicken stock, by the way, is absolutely fantastic, and there's a link down below how to make it. We made it some time ago.
It's a necessity, guys.
It is. Really good. And I think we are there. Let me crank it up a little bit. So we bring it up to a simmer. Then I'm going in with, a can of crushed tomatoes, 400 grams. So in that goes. Put that on this side. And then also 400 grams of passata or milled tomatoes, whatever you can get your hands on. We want some tomato goodness in here. But I want to have the paste from the beginning to get that more deep flavor of tomato. And that is now the base of our soup. There will be more things coming to the soup later, but right now, this is where the soup goes, and I'm gonna pre-season a little bit with salt. Maybe a teaspoon at this point. I want it to be there to help the chicken also get some flavor. So there we are. And now, here we have 3 nice chicken breasts that we're gonna dump in here in the liquid and let them simmer away for probably half an hour, something like that. We will check it with a thermometer. I will flip them halfway through. If you do this at home, do it in a more narrow pot, but I wanted to take the white one so you can better see what's going on. And we have
What's cooking?
what's cooking, exactly. So we let that simmer now, close it up, and in 15 minutes or so, I'll give them a flip, and then we check the temperature. And we're in about 15 minutes, so let's give this a check. Well, they're firming up nicely here. That looks good. I know they're not done, but I want to check the temperature so we have a bearing about where we are. This is at 41 degrees. Don't know if you can see that, around 40, 35, 37. That means that it will need another 15. We don't want to shoot over here. We want to pull them out at around 70, not more than 70, maybe 71 too, because we want to shred it and then put it back in the soup. And otherwise, and if you cook it too far, it will get dry, no matter whether it's in liquid.
You want it juicy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let's give these a flip. So
otherwise, it's like a piece of paper, actually. The chicken becomes really bad.
yeah, even when it's in soup.
Yeah.
So
That
be careful
cannot
with that.
mask it.
Nope.
No.
So now we will keep them simmering here till they reach there around the 70 mark, and then we will yank them out of here, but we will bring you back when we're at that point. And we just hit 70 degrees on our chicken breast, so now we're gonna get them out of here so we can let them cool down a little bit. There they are. And they took some nice flavors from our soup here.
Spices, yeah.
It smells fantastic actually already, and it's not even finished yet.
It does, and actually I've never tried that soup before, so I'm kind of curious.
Kind of curious, but it's good. So these we let cool down so we can shred them in a bit. So off to the side they go. And then we're gonna finish off our soup almost. First we start putting in the ingredients I forgot before. You want some chili peppers in here. And I'm going with jalapenos, but pickled jalapenos, because I like that little zing the vinegar gives. Use fresh if you're so inclined. It's all up to you, but I like to use the pickled ones. It gives that, hard to explain. It's just good.
You just love pickles.
Actually, I do. I do. So that in here, and then comes the next crucial ingredient in enchilada soup, and that is masa harina, which is nixtamalized corn flour. And that we need to mix. I have here 4 heaping tablespoons and about half a liter of water. So we're gonna mix that, and then we're gonna whisk it, because we don't want to have any lumps, clumps or anything. This will do 2 or 3 things. First of all, it will thicken up our soup. That's one thing. And then it will give you that flavor of the corn that you have in the tortillas or whatever. So it will give you that. It's a key component to this soup. Just give this a quick whisk. Nothing fancy. Just like that. And then we're going to dunk that straight into our soup. And now we're also getting the right color. Give that a good stir. Crank up the temperature a little bit. And now we are going to let this simmer away for a little bit, because we want to cook the corn flour, the masa harina, so you take away that raw flour flavor from it. So we bring this back, and you see how it already thickens up.
Good trick.
Yeah, and it gives specific taste to the soup, so this is going to be really interesting. Well, besides that, we're going to let that simmer as is, and then when we have shredded our chicken, then we will move on with finalizing the soup and serve it. So you can see it's real quick. Our chicken has cooled down, so it's time to give that a shred. On with this, and we simply shred it up, pull it apart like this, and then
Small, like bite chunks.
they're like strips of chickens, like this. So they're easy to eat with a spoon afterwards. And this is kind of the only boring task there is. But
So see you after it.
I'll finish this, and when this is done, we're ready to finish the soup, and then we're eating good. And here it is, all shredded up. We put that a little bit to the side, because now we have to finalize the soup. Turn it down a little bit so it doesn't spritz all over the place. So this has been cooking, and now you can smell that that raw corn flour thing is starting to disappear from this. So now it's time to finalize it. And it's fairly simple. Black pepper. I like to put black pepper at the end because I like fresh pepper taste in a soup. You can put it earlier if you want to cook it with the soup. That's
or
up to you.
after serving. I like it also.
Yeah, that's obviously also an option. 200 grams of grated cheese. You can use cheddar, you can use Monterey Jack, you can use whatever. It doesn't really matter. Don't go with Parmesan for this. It has to be like this kind of melting cheese. So, in with that. And now we can crank it up a little bit again and get that melted into our soup. This is gonna be so good. Cheesy goodness.
It's a very rich soup, I can see.
It
has
is.
everything inside.
Yeah, it does. So as that melts up, we are gonna reintroduce all our chicken and whatever juices is left in the bottom of this pan. Get it all stirred in, because now we want to cook it a little bit more so we reach a slightly higher temperature on the chicken than the 70 we pulled it at. And the last things that goes in to our soup is a small can of sweet corn and a small can of black beans. As I said, this is
As I said, it has everything.
It has everything, but it's also things that most people, they have in their pantry. I mean, so let's steer that in also.
Maybe that's how it was invented. Like, let's see what we have in the cupboard and let's
It is
make a
like,
soup.
let's empty the fridge and the pantry. And then lastly, I'm going to squeeze in the juice of a lime just to lift it up. I might do 2, but we take 1.
We might even do 3 off camera. Because that's my favorite thing.
True.
You know, a lemony soup always.
There we go. Nice. Give that a stir. And then we're going to taste it for salt.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't do the salt before, because some of the cheeses are quite salty, so you don't want to over season things, because then, well, nobody's going to be
I
happy.
did that once, remember, accidentally.
She made Dead Sea chicken soup. I mean, that was Greek chicken soup. Either way, we're going to make Greek chicken soup in another episode.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
but not with the salt I put it there. Needs salt or?
Nah, it does. It needs a little bit of salt. So give it a good pinch of salt there that matches. And then I'm going to do 1 more lime, and then we are ready to serve. There we are, ready to serve. It's cooled down a little bit to
eating temperature.
It's still steaming a little bit, but I can
okay.
take it. So
you can, yeah.
So nice looking this. Look at that. And then, whoopty, we serve a nice bowl of very rich chicken soup, I would say. As I said, we will do the Greek version one day, but
for sure.
As of now, this is what we're doing. Then you can dress this up with a variety of things. You could sprinkle it with some Mexican crema, whatever, put a dollop of sour cream, Greek yogurt, whatever. I'm going to go another way. I'm going to go with some pico de gallo because, well, I love it. And right in the middle with a nice big chunk of pico and cilantro. If you don't like it, don't use it. But I love cilantro. It's beautiful, beautiful herb and tastes so good on soups like this. I didn't want to put it in the soup though.
No, it doesn't have a strong flavor after. It's better.
It gets boiled
Fresh
out sort of. In a sense, it boils it out a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think that looks pretty. And then just for good measure, a couple of slices of avocado. So everything looks good. Have to look good when you serve for people. Remember that. And homemade tortilla chips. Super easy to make. As the pico de gallo, there are links down below how to make these. Now we cut them a little bit different this time, but and they go for make a nice crunch on top of this. So
like instead of croutons or something.
Exactly, exactly. And if you're bored to make them yourself like I did, then you can just
buy
use
them,
nachos. It's no problem.
Easy.
And there we have it. One beautiful bowl of chicken enchilada soup that should be served this way, like a chili. Time for a taste test. So a nice spoonful of this with chicken and beans, corn, the whole thing. You see how warm it is. That is a very interesting take on a chicken soup. It's very good, it's delicious. I will though say that I will make this again, but then I will omit the masa harina and use tapioca flour to thicken the soup. It gives a little bit too much corn tortilla taste for me, but that's all up to you. You do you. Give it a shot, it's damn good.